Howdy folks, and welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 2 with the mighty Jingles, and we've just arrived at Rupiti, which is the reservation of Rain Falls tribe. The government had no use for this land. It's a bit of a shithole, which of course is why it was deemed perfectly acceptable to be put to use as a Native American reservation. Unfortunately for the Native Americans who happen to live here, they've just discovered oil, so the government's decided that it wants this land after all.
Hey, what do you want from this place?
Now, Rain Falls, the chief, he's seen all of this before. He knows what happens if you try to resist the US Army. His son, Eagle Flies, however, he's just going to have to learn the hard way, unless we can talk him out of it. But that's going to be easier said than done, with Dutch whipping him up into a frenzy, trying to provoke a war between the tribe and the US Army that he can use as a distraction for another one of his grand schemes. So we're here to speak to Rain Falls, the chief, and see if there's any way we can help. And if that upsets Dutch, well, that's just tough titty, isn't it?
Hello?
Come in. You don't sound very well.
I'm not. I think I'm dying.
Then I hope you find peace.
I don't know too much about peace.
Apparently not. Did you have fun with my son, the impetuous prince? I believe you went on a raid with him.
I'm sorry.
I suppose I lack the grandeur of a conventional king.
I don't know too many kings.
Colonel Favors, he has already exacted some measure of revenge for the raid. 2 women were assaulted by his men.
I'm very sorry about all of this.
Yes. Sometimes the correct path, the bravest path, is the least obvious and also the gentlest. I'm a great disappointment to my son.
Your son seems to want a war.
My son thinks there is glory in death. Maybe he's right, but for me, I saw death being handed out so freely by the most foolish of men, I never could equate it with victory. Glory has come in service. Maybe. Maybe not, I don't know.
I've killed a lot of people. For a whole lot of dumb reasons, and I ain't never seen much glory in it.
Well, your friend, Mr. Vanderlyn, he talks a lot. I don't know him, but my son is easily led.
I'm not sure I get you.
Well, perhaps we could go for a ride. I'm an old man. My whole life I have tried to bring peace.
But I ain't doing so good.
Then maybe you can take pity on my plight. Please, it won't take long. And maybe I can help you with that cough.
Sir! I'm glad I caught you, sir.
Captain Monroe, do you know my friend, Mr. Morgan?
No, sir. I don't have the pleasure.
Arthur Morgan.
It's an honor, sir.
How can I help you, Captain?
I was just in Saint Denis. I spoke with the mayor. It's not good news, I'm afraid. May I ride with you for a little?
Of course. Follow me.
So where are we going?
I want to show you a site up in the mountains that's long been sacred to me. A place for reflection and healing. What is this news, Captain Monroe?
Yes, sir. As I mentioned, I did speak again with the mayor and the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Saint Denis at length. But regrettably, it appears the oil company has already received approval to move forward with drilling on the reservation's land.
I supposed as much. So what does that mean for us now?
I'm not sure just yet. I didn't get the impression anything would be happening for a few months. I'm very sorry, sir. I did everything I could.
I know, Captain.
And I assure you I will continue to do as much as I can. Mr. Morgan, would you have time to help me at all? I would rather certain actions were taken by friends outside the tribe.
Sure, I can help.
That's good news. Thank you. Come meet me on the reservation whenever you can. Even just a couple hours of your time.
And that fella, Monroe, how you know him?
Captain Monroe was reassigned here from a regiment in the north. Apparently, the news of our conflict has spread all the way to Washington. He's a good man. He wants to help.
Well, I guess that's something at least.
The Army aren't all bad men. Just as my people aren't all good. But this Colonel Favors, he walks an old line. He's obstinate and he hates Monroe. I just hope between us we can work this out. It's just up ahead. What's happened? No! It can't be. No! They destroyed everything! I need to find the Chanupa. Who would do this?
Someone who wanted to enrage you.
Help me look around, please. The Chanupa is gone.
Of course. What is it?
A ceremonial pipe. There must be some clues to what happened here.
Right, time to go into hunting vision mode. No, not the horse track. There's some kind of clue there indicated by the golden sparkles. An army flask. Well, what a surprise.
This is a place of peace.
Yeah, but there's certain folk around here who aren't really interested in peace. They want war, or an excuse for it, so they can drive you off the land.
Animals.
Another clue over here. Whiskey-soaked logs. Yeah, the fires were set deliberately.
It's ruined.
Okay, let's keep looking for clues. Although, you know, it pays to not jump to any conclusions. I mean, there are clues and then there are clues. Just because somebody left an army flask lying around here doesn't mean that the US Army did it. I mean, if you want to make it look like the US Army were responsible for this, then leave some US Army equipment lying around. That doesn't necessarily mean that they did it.
An empty bottle of whiskey.
Well, if they drank all that, they couldn't have gotten too far.
Yeah, well, still no sign of the Chanupa.
Although, yeah, let's be realistic here. I mean, whether it was the US Army who were responsible, or whether it was, for example, Leviticus Cornwall's men, who want the tribe to think the US Army was responsible, the end result is the same. The tribe is provoked into open conflict with the army, and the oil companies win.
There's some whiskey here.
Okay, let's continue on. Quick, Mr. Morgan! There's someone down there! Do you have any binoculars?
Actually, yes I do. And it's an army camp.
Oh, there they are. These brave men. Some of Colonel Favors' men. They must have been the ones who did this.
Are you surprised this happened?
Not at all. But I hope we were past this.
Well, you got land they want. Land with oil.
They moved us here. They've taken everything we had. I signed 3 treaties myself, and they've broken each one. Now they've taken the last hope. Now my people are going to want a war. A war they can't win.
Not if I get it back.
Get it back?
Yeah, I'm gonna go in, get your Chanupa, no one will be any the wiser.
Would you do that?
Well, you can't go, they know why you'd come.
I don't have any money.
Nah, I don't need your money.
Please see if they have our sacred items. But try not to hurt anyone.
I'll try to ensure that they never even know I'm there, but actions don't always go the way you plan.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try, but people have got a way of dying whenever I try to do anything sneaky. They're not even attempting to hide the fact that they're responsible, are they? I mean, they're camped right there. Desecrated a holy site, took a relic, left clues scattered all over the site, and then camped out as bold as brass within view of where the crime had been committed. I mean, they so clearly want to provoke a war. Well, we're going to do our best, but I can't help but feel that we're pissing in the wind here. I mean, there's a certain grim inevitability about it all. I'm pretty sure that regardless of what we do, one way or another, war is coming. Incidentally, if like me you were curious about who was providing the voice acting here, because I was sure that I'd heard the voice of the actor playing the chief. And of course I have, and you lot probably have as well. Although there aren't that many to choose from when it comes to respected Native American actors, which is kind of a shame. But there are three big names. There's Chief Dan George, who sadly isn't with us anymore, but came to fame playing in Little Big Man with Dustin Hoffman, and The Outlaw Josie Wales with Clint Eastwood. Then of course there's Wes Studi, who rose to fame for his role in The Last of the Mohicans, but he's appeared in all kinds of other movies. But the voice actor providing the talent for the role of Chief Rain's Fall is none other than the great Graham Greene, who, like Wes Studi, has appeared in countless movies over the years, but is most famous and came to prominence for playing the role of Kicking Bird in the Kevin Costner movie Dances with Wolves. Okay, the ceremonial pipe is in there somewhere, we hope. Let's face it, it probably is. I mean, it must be, otherwise the game wouldn't be telling me to go down here and get it, but as far as Arthur is aware, he's hoping that this is where the pipe is. I mean, you'd imagine that they haven't gone very far. The damage done to the holy site is fairly recent, and they are sitting here in an effort to provoke the tribe into doing something stupid. So, yeah. It's probably here. Maybe I can search the tents by cutting through the canvas at the back.
France is near France. Well, it's in
Have you heard the conversation that's going on with the soldiers? Something's telling me they don't all have the best of educations. Where's France? Oh, it's near Canada. Anyway, that's where Indians is from. France. Yeah. Alright, it looks like I'm not sneaking into the tents from the rear. I don't see why not. I've got plenty of sharp objects. I could slice through that canvas in seconds, but no, I have to do it the way the game wants me to. Okay. Well, while we're looking for a sneaky way in, I did some more digging, because I was curious as to who did the voice of Eagle Fly's chief's son. Because I was fairly sure I'd heard his voice before somewhere as well, and it turns out I absolutely had. But to my eternal shame, I did not realise that the actor responsible was a Native American. I thought he was Hispanic. It's this guy, Jeremiah Bitsui, who is of Navajo and Omaha descent. He played the role of Victor, one of the drug kingpin Gus Fring's lieutenants in both Breaking Bad and the prequel Better Call Saul. See if we can take this guy out without having to kill the poor sucker. Okay, it's one down. Probably don't want to leave the body just lying there though. I don't know if he's in a set sentry position or if he was walking in patrol and just stopped to admire the view. And even if he was in a set sentry position, they may have somebody walking the perimeter. And it wouldn't do to have the body discovered. So we'll just dump it in the grass over here. And sure enough, wouldn't you know it, one of them is actually walking the perimeter, because just as I was attempting to stealthily check out the locations of the remaining soldiers as the sun's coming up, in order to either neutralise or avoid them, I get busted by a wandering patrol. So, we're going to have to kill them all. No, Jingles, don't shoot the wagon. The wagon never did you any harm. Shoot the soldier who's standing right next to you. You know, the one who's actually shooting you. Top tip, Jingles. All those red dots on the minimap? Yeah. Those are people shooting at you. Shoot at them. There we go. No, stop shooting the wagon. Seriously. Well, I think that's all of them. There were no more than half a dozen soldiers here. Actually, doesn't that strike you as incredibly stupid? I mean, if you're sending half a dozen soldiers out to desecrate a Native American holy ground in an effort to provoke them into making war on you, don't you think it might be a good idea to send slightly more than half a dozen soldiers? Because you're trying to provoke the tribe to go to war with you. What happens if you're successful and 40 Native American braves come charging over the hill on horseback, whooping and hollering? You might wish you had more than 6 soldiers at your disposal. Although, then again, maybe Colonel Favors has taken this into consideration. Maybe he wants his men to get wiped out because it would give him even further excuse to clamp down on the tribe. I can't help but think that we're really in a lose-lose situation here, because I have killed all but one of the soldiers at this camp. The tribe didn't do it, I did it. But prove the tribe didn't do it. You know what I'm saying here? I think regardless of who's responsible, Colonel Favors is going to spin it so that the tribe are blamed. I mean, okay, I found the ceremonial pipe. And yet I can't help but feel that I've ended up doing as much harm as good.
Here. I got your things, I think.
Yes, thank you.
I'm very sorry about this.
Even sacred things are only things. People, the heart, matter more. Was anyone hurt?
Yes.
It's a bad business. I should not have let you do this for me. But perhaps it will stop a bigger massacre. With these, maybe I can calm my people. Maybe I can calm my son.
I hope so.
Thank you. Take those herbs I gave you, please. And most of all, I hope you can find peace within yourself.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too pessimistic here. Maybe there is a way to peacefully resolve this situation without the tribe being pushed into a war that it can't possibly win with the US Army. I'm just not feeling too optimistic about it all.
He's a man who, not so long ago, I would have found weak and pathetic. Now I see as wise and thoughtful and sensible. I would love to help him. Or at least stop Dutch pushing his son to do something real stupid.
Yeah, let's be honest here. With Dutch egging him on, Eagle Flies is going to do something stupid. And I suppose the best possible outcome that we can really hope for is that my presence at the very least is going to help to limit the amount of damage that gets caused. Unfortunately, that's it for today. This is one of the emergency videos that I have pre-recorded and pre-uploaded to cover my absence in the Netherlands this week. And that's all we really have time for. Nevertheless, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're all having a great weekend, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.